I'm back again. It's been quite a long time, longer than I planned. Today is November the 12th and it's my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. One of the reasons that I haven't been able to do a podcast for a long time is that my son's best friend died last week. So we've been going to the wake and the funeral and looking after very sad teenagers. They were friends since they were 3 years old. They were in the same class until they were 14 years old. And it's been very sad. So yes, it was very sad. And we're going to miss him greatly. And if you have teenage kids, please give them a hug and a kiss. And tell them that you love them. Tell them that they're important to you. Tell them that they matter and that they're precious, because life is short and life is sweet and we need them. So, the weather now is decidedly autumnal. I'm going to just see if you can see out of the window. I'm not sure this will work. You're wobbling. Can you see? My trees in my garden are very red and beautiful. I tried to leave the net curtains open while I made this video, but it didn't work. It made everything too bright and shiny. Are you straight? Near enough. I'm also going to be coughing a lot. I've caught a cold. I have asthma, so whenever I catch a cold, it just descends into a spiral of coughing and misery. So I've got coffee, instant, because I have no taste. Sorry, I'm English. So I shall be having a drink from time to time. So what I wanted to say was thank you to Laurel of the Dabbling Hook. She mentioned me. I didn't know this, so I suddenly had a flurry of new subscribers, and it was I didn't know where they were coming from. It was a real joy. And then one lady said that she put a message up saying that she'd been sent over from the Dabbling Hook podcast. So I went to have a look and there I was mentioned. That was a great thrill. And now I found a new podcast to watch. She's lovely. She makes lots and lots of hats and amigurumi and shawls and scarves. She does craft fairs, which is braver than me. I keep thinking about it and then being a coward and not applying for it. Part of my problem is I have to do it all in Japanese and that scares me. So I'm watching her and hopefully building up a bit of confidence to try craft fairs for myself, because she looks like she has great fun. Sorry. So in previous podcasts, people have commented and said, please could they see a bit of where I live and a bit of my daily life. I'm not sure quite how much to put. My life is quite boring, but at the moment we've got some really lovely autumn colours, so I put some photographs at the beginning in the intro of walks around the town. We went into Sapporo a couple of weeks ago and the colours were at their peak, and I put some pictures in there. And one of the things I love about living in this area is that in November the swans start flying over. They fly back from Siberia down to the middle of Japan where they spend the winter, and we're like a stopping off route. So the other day I went to get my hair cut and the swans were all taking off and landing in a local field. So I took some video of that and I'll put it in here so you can see. So I'll put it in now. Other news is, you can see, this is my craft room. You can still see I've got all the same wallpaper and everything, but we bought a new sofa for the first time in 18 years and the old one seemed too good to get rid of, so my husband suggested bringing it up to the craft room. So I'm in the middle of a massive renovation. You'll again, in the introduction, you'll see that the craft room was completely stripped out, and I cleaned it from top to bottom. I washed the curtains and then put the sofa in, spent ages rearranging and arranging and pinching storage boxes from all over the house. I was in a hurry to get the craft room done, so I did that by tipping out the contents into the people's rooms and leaving it and shutting the door. So my next plan this week is to go around all the places I've tipped stuff out of. Some stuff needs thinning, but some of it isn't mine, so I've got to ask permission and do it with the owners of the stuff, and get the rest of the house back in order, because this room is beautiful and the rest of the house is a nightmare. Just a minute, I've got a hair stuck behind my glasses. So the craft room isn't completely complete yet, so I will, perhaps I'll just move it around a bit so you can see, but I'll give you a proper tour. Will it go? So I put the desk there, the two shelves are in the corner of the room, and then I've got, I don't know what you can see now, storage boxes, and I've got my rocking chair. So I've got like a little sitting area, quite a lot more open floor now that the bed's gone, because obviously that was quite big. Not straight again. Is that straight? You have to do. But it feels really nice to have a sofa to sit on. I'm really enjoying this. The one problem is that the desk is sticking out into the room. That's fair enough, but I'm used to having a wall at the back of the desk, so I keep pushing things off, especially when I push my computer back. So I'm going to try and solve that, and I'm going to try and put a strip of something across the back, just so that I don't keep shoving things onto the floor. So this week, the last couple of weeks have been very busy. Real work was incredibly busy to the end of October, and then I thought that I would dedicate November to my crochet, well, keeping work going of course, but with the bereavement and everything, last week was a washout. It just disappeared and nothing got done, but I have completed something. So I keep looking down because I've got a notebook. So I made several more hats. I sold 2 already. One of them's in the intro. A friend of mine who lives in the mountains of Kyushu, where it gets very cold, and she lives in a temple, which is cold, not very much heating, very old building. So she wears a lot of hats and shawls and scarves throughout the winter, and she said she wanted a wild and wacky hat in berry colours. So I made that, and I couldn't wait to for a podcast video to show you because she needed it, so I sent it. So there's a picture of that in the intro with me wearing it, and I also made I bought that Stylecraft Bellissima, one ball of it, to see how it crochets up, and it's absolutely beautiful. The stitch definition is lovely. It's really soft, but has body. Definitely going to be buying more of this, and the colour's lovely too, isn't it? So I made this smallish hat. I think this is a biggish child hat, and I put a sparkly bead in the middle. Kept everything fairly neutral with grey and silver. So I made that one, and that's finished. And I've also finished 2 chevron scarves, who they have no particular destination, so if anyone's interested, let me know if you live in Japan. This one I'm going to call Coconut Ice, because doesn't it remind you of coconut ice? This was a pleasure to crochet, and this is the same yarn as the shell colour chevron scarf I made and showed in the last podcast, and it's King Cole, and I've forgotten again. It's the baby yarn. It's really lovely. I'll put something up in the back. at the bottom while I'm editing this video, so you can see. So that one is available. I love this one. I think this is really, really nice. So they're not superly long, especially when you put it over over your other scarf. I'm cold today, so I needed something on. But it's a really nice, either an indoor, you know, with your shirt scarf, or under a jacket going to work. Not superly bulky, but very useful and sweet, and easy to pull off and put in a bag if you're going around town. So I've got that one. And then this one also I absolutely love. This is Hayfield Sparkle, I think it's called. And there's no point in telling you because it's been discontinued, which is really sad. And I've got some of this, and I've got a navy, and I've got, I think, a pale turquoise, and then that's it. There's nothing left. It's got a sparkle, obviously, and the yarn is acrylic, so it's very easy care. But I don't know, can you see? Apart from the shine, the yarn itself is quite matte. It's but it's soft. It's almost, if I didn't know it was acrylic, I'd think it was cotton. It's got a very lovely cotton touch. It has beautiful stitch definition, and I really like it. So there's only one purple one, and once that's gone, it's gone. But also that's not for anybody, so if anyone's interested, let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I did. So my friend who wanted the hat also wants a neck warmer and mitts, and so I've made the neck warmer. I'll take this off. But she said with the hat it had lots of ends all over it, and she liked that. But with the neck warmer, she said she wanted them sewing in, which is reasonable because it's tickly. And this is a polo neck warmer pattern. So there are braids I put on. That was just to make, you know, give some echo of the hat design. And I really like this one, and I'm going to make some for myself, I think. And I'm going to make some as well and put them up for sale because it just sits on your shoulders. It's really small. It covers up all the gaps. It's not too tight on your neck. You could turn it down if you wanted. And it just sits under a jacket or a cardigan really neatly. I think this is a really clever pattern. And also, I get very cold in our house in the winter. The house isn't particularly cold, but outside is cold. And at night my nose gets cold, so I could watch telly, put it up, and watch telly. So that one's nearly finished. I've just got to sew in the ends, and then it will be done. Excuse the cough. It's cold here today. It's a very grey day, so I want my scarf back, sorry. This is just cotton gauze that a friend made for me, heavy, and it's double lined, and it's just good for indoors, just covering up the gaps. We're kind of between seasons. It's very much warmer than it should be. This is the first time in 128 years that we've got this far into November with no snow. So that's good, but it's definitely cold. Right, so works in progress. Kissing circles here hasn't got bigger, but I've done every single circle that I need to finish it, and all the ends on those loose circles are done. They're over there in a box, so I won't get it out. And I've done about 3 hours of sewing in ends. Not that you would know. Oh, I don't know. What do you think? Fewer than before. This end's nearly complete, isn't it? There's not very many ends that side, and then there's more ends that side that have got to be done. But I have made progress. I am working on it, so I feel good about that. And I'll just put that down on the floor for the moment. So Chevron Waves has taken a bit of a back seat over the last couple of weeks because the lady who wanted the hat and scarves and neckwarmer, hat and neckwarmer and mitts is the lady that I'm making this for. So I kind of used her time. This is pathetic. So last week I did from that stitch marker all the way to here. That's pathetic. So I've got to make an effort. And she's decided along with me that we want to keep the ends and make a fringe. So that's good. Don't have to sew any ends in. Although making the fringe takes just as long as sewing ends in. But somehow it seems to be, I don't know, a more positive process somehow. Feels like you're doing something rather than taking something away. So that one I really need to get back to. But my corner to corner crochet blanket has gone great guns. So it's in my lovely butterfly bag. Really pleased with it, and you can see it fits a smallish project in a smallish blanket. This is it's going to be about 90 centimeters each side, and I've done loads. Look, if I cracked on with this, it could probably be finished within the week. But I've got so many other things that I need to do as well. So you can see that I've turned the corner, and now I've got to get that made so that the blanket becomes square. But I've got that far in. Then it's going. So this is the final width. So and then it's going to have a border. So you can see that's the bit that I haven't done yet. And I'm loving it. It's soothing, rhythmic. The colours are bright and happy. Yeah, it's really satisfying. And the texture, corner to corner crochet texture is lovely. Really satisfying. So that one's going very well. And don't they look nice? All nestled at the bottom of the bag. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls in at a pinch. 5 or 6. And then the project on the top of this bag. So that's a good size bag, I think. And another cough, I'm sorry. So that's all my works in progress at the moment, I think. Oh, no, there's a few more. I always say that, don't I? So I've been making Christmas cards. Again, this was like last week. Last weekend I was getting on very well, and then everything ground to a halt. But the Christmas cards, really pleased with them. That's a green ones. And where's some red ones? There were some red ones. So these are on like natural craft card bases, cardstock that I bought in England. They've got an envelope with them. So and then inside, I'll just take one out. So you can have it for your card, and then at the end of the season you can it's coming undone, just a minute. You can take off the sticker and then put the decoration away for the next year. So I want to get about 30 or 40 of those done is my plan. I've got about 15 done at the moment. Excuse me, I'm just putting this back into its cellophane wrapper. And yeah, go down, go down. Like and I've got the cards ready, printed up, and the envelopes ready, and now it's a matter of making the crochet rosettes that the wood die cuts go on, because this is all I'd managed to make before I decided to start putting the cards together and see what progress I could make. And then also I've been asked to make 2 scarves for a lady and her sister, and she's asked for these 2 colourways, and I love them. So this is King Cold Drifter. It's ever so soft, it feels really lovely. It's 25% cotton, 6% wool and 69% premium acrylic, and it's just dreamy. And it's a double knit, but to my mind it's a very slightly finer than regular double knit. It knits up a little bit loosely. I don't think you need a smaller needle or a hook, but it is just slightly less plump than a lot of DKs. But equally that makes quite a nice scarf fabric because it comes drapey. So this one's called Boston, and this one's called Kentucky. They're all American city names. And this is what it looks like in the ball, and this is how it's knitting up, and it's lovely, very landscapey. I really like that, really pleased with it. So I can't stop crocheting this. This is supposed to be my waiting room and in the car waiting to pick up kids crochet, but I can't stop myself doing it because I want to see what the next colour is going to come out like. And because it's now not Christmas but near enough, I'm thinking about Christmas, I'm using my lovely Christmas bag which my friend Eleanor made for me, and the fabric is really sweet. Look, it's Christmas ornaments with a little matryoshka, and she's put green polka dot spots at the bottom, and it's not lined. I kind of wish it was, because I think it would make it more sturdy, but on the other hand it makes it easy to shove into another bag. And she asked me for the measurements, and then she made me 2 hook pockets. Can you see inside? No. And there's a hook in there, and that's so convenient. Keeps your hook safe, stops you having to grovel around in the bottom of the bag for it. And this is the perfect size. She also asked me for dimensions and made it so that it would fit a ball of yarn. She'd made some smaller ones and put them up on her page for sale, and I said, oh, can you do a yarn bag for me? So that's my single skein project Christmas bag. Love that. I know it's not Christmas yet. So these 2 are Christmas presents, so I really need to get going with that. Upcoming things, just a minute, got to look at my book. So my friend Scarf and Hat Lady wants mitts, so I've got to do those. I started some and they look really rubbish, and I pulled them out, and I'm going to do a different pattern. And another friend of mine wants a knight's helmet hat for her son for Christmas, so that one I've got to do. I'm hoping to get that done soon. And then Christmas ornaments. So every year I have a Christmas fair. Last year it was about the 3rd week in November, 2nd or 3rd week in November. This year I was going to get an early start on Christmas. You know how that goes, ha ha ha. It didn't happen. Everything's got away from me as usual. So I've started making Christmas ornaments. I've got, at the moment I've got about 15 or 20 cards. And these, and that's it, nothing else. Pathetic. But I'm definitely going to be making more of these. So these are jute twine stars, edged with cotton. This is what was it? The drop. Was it drops? No, it wasn't drops. Just a minute. What was it? Go to my drawer and have a look. Yeah, drops muscat, she said, yelling from around the back of the camera. I'm back. So it was dropped Muscat yarn around the outside, and I do love the texture and the combination of the wine coloured smooth cotton and then the rough hairy jute, so it's very natural. So it's kind of a theme this year, isn't it? So these are quite big. You can see the cards are 4x6. So the stars are just a little bit more than 4 inches, aren't they? Well, near enough, 4 inches across. They came up just the size they came up, because it's twine that I bought in the home centre for gardening. So it's real. It's not craft jute, it's gardening jute. These are really fun to make, but they hurt my hands. So I don't know how many I'll get done. I've got 5 at the moment. And I thought also I'd do a heart and also edge it with this wine. I think this wine colour is quite good. And if I've got a green that looks suitable, I might do some green ones as well. So, well, they smell nice. They smell like jute. So that's that one. So I've got to do a lot more Christmas decorations, and I'm thinking that this year, I think last year my Christmas sale was next weekend. That's not going to happen. And the weekend after, I'm going to go to Tokyo to visit my son who lives there. So that weekend is out. So I think the next weekend is the 1st of December. That's a Saturday. So I think my Christmas fair is going to be that Saturday the 1st of December. And it will be what I've got. I won't be able to take any orders by then unless it's something very quick. I'll try. And if you want to put in an order for something for after Christmas, that's of course fine too. So I think my Christmas fair is going to be Saturday the 1st of December, but you'll find details on my Facebook page, so watch that space if you live in Japan. So that's my future plans and incoming goodies. I've got 2 very special things. Well, 2. This is really nice. I ripped off my address label. So this is from Rick Rack in Australia. So this came from Australia. I ordered on Etsy. I saw the pins shown on somebody else's blog, and I cannot remember who it was now. So a very nice box, very easy to post, very safe, sturdy. I ordered 4 pins, and they all came in their own little envelopes, all beautifully taped up. But the problem was I didn't know which was which. 3 are for friends and 1 is for me. So I had to open them. So when I give the 3 for Christmas presents, I'll have to re-wrap them. And she put in 2 little cards. So if I put that up, you can see her details. Is that focusing? Okay. And she put this thank you card in as well. So she's Jodie Rickrack on Instagram, or Pinpoints on Instagram as well, and she's got an Etsy shop. So I bought, as I said, 1 is for me. Oh, and that's the first one I opened. So I got this crochet pin for me, and so it comes beautifully packaged. It's got her information on the back. Pinpoints it's called as well, and they came very quickly too. They came quicker than I thought. about 3 or 4 days went by when I thought, oh, they should have arrived by now, and I don't know why they haven't. And then I realised that my husband had taken in the mail that day, and he'd put it on the table, and then he put a newspaper on top of it and left it. So I wasn't happy. So I think it arrived, and then he couldn't tell me when it had arrived. So probably the day I expected it to arrive. Annoying man. Another thing he does is he puts his big gardening boots under where the letterbox is, and letters drop into his boots and are never seen again. So that's the badge. It's big, isn't it? Really. I can't do this without it falling off. Really solid. Yeah. See, told you I'd drop it. So it's, yes, it's about as long as my finger, not that long, and it's got 2 spiky bits and stoppers, so it would be really firmly anchored to whatever project you put it on. That's the back. And that's the front. And I love it. Really happy with that. So I've actually got several of these crochet. 2. I got 3 different of the same ones in different colours to give to people, crocheters that I know. That's well, I'll just show you. So that's a pink one, and what was this one? Yeah, and then so I had blue, pink, and green of the crochet starting ring, magic ring. And then this one I saw, and straight away I thought, aha, I know exactly who that's for. I love that. And that's going to a very specifically specific person who will know when she gets it where I sent it. It suits her down to the ground. Really pleased with that. So they're to go away in my Christmas present stash. Just put it down. And have another cough. And another drink. Okay. I didn't put it back on the thing. And then another incoming goodie that I'm very, very surprised to get, but very pleased. My friend Helen, I went to England with her in the summer holidays, and one of the things that we did, we travelled together. So I met her at the airport. She lives in a different area of Japan to me, so I flew down to the nearest airport to her, the nearest international airport. And we met, and then we flew together. That's the first time. We've been friends for 26 or 7 years now, but it's the first time we've ever travelled together. She's taken one of my kids to England, and our kids have travelled together, but we've never travelled together. Our kids have travelled together within the country, not internationally, but she's taken my boy to England before now, one of them. So she sent me a lovely surprise package. She stayed in England longer than I did, and one of the reasons she went was to pack up her mum's house and get it ready for sale, because her mum passed away last year, and I helped for a couple of days, not that long, and we also went shopping and did crochet together and had a good time. I mean, it was bittersweet, but we did have a good time. So she sent me these socks. Aren't they gorgeous? I love those ones. Those are my favourite. Look at those. And squirrels. They're really sweet too, but the butterflies are just gorgeous. And the biggest surprise was, this is a Fat Face. It's a British brand. And we went in and we looked, and I'm very cheap. I really, really loved everything I saw, and I really liked this shirt. I loved the fabric, it's cotton, and I loved the print, but the price was ridiculous, and I said, oh, I'm not paying that, and the man in the shop said, oh, there'll be an end of summer sale, so why don't you wait? But I left before the sales, and she got it for me. So it's, I don't know if it's too late. In her letter she said, oh, it's too late to wear it, but I was thinking I could wear a turtleneck under it because it's very loose and baggy. What do you think? Like a plain cream or even a red turtleneck under it, and then a scarf over the top. The sleeves are wide enough to accommodate. I don't know, I think I'm going to experiment. I don't really want to put it away till next season. I want to wear it. So very happy with that. So thank you, Helen. And she sent me this lovely card. She's the master of finding good cards. Japan is not a greeting card country, so you have to buy them abroad while you're away. So that was incoming goodies. And then blast from the past. Oh, this is one more thing I'll just show you. This is not a blast from the past. This is just something I made fairly recently, but I made it for me. It's an earbud holder. So my earphones for my phone go in there, and then they don't fall out. And if you stick the buds out, it looks like he's got teeth. So he just goes into my bag. I did make a loop for him to hang on my bag, but I think it's actually safer in the bag. So he's just a cell phone monster. I liked making him, or her maybe. Is it a her? And seeing as that's a monster, my blast from the past is my Halloween hat that I made a couple of years ago. So I do a big Halloween party with my work here, and we have, this year we had 84 kids and their parents, so I don't know, easily a couple of hundred people took part, and we cooperate with the local shops. So our local bakery gave out sweets and candy and their own bread, and some neighbours give out treats that I prepare for them to give out. So we have a really lovely time, and I need somewhat of a costume, but I need to be free to walk around, so I tend to just wear ordinary clothes. And then I decided to make this hat. So he's got, I made this about 3 years ago now. This is the 3rd year of wearing it. So the eye is padded, and then I've got a dangling eyeball, and he's even got his blood vessels. Look, I had real fun making this. I didn't use a pattern, I just made things up as I went along. And it's Stylecraft Special double knitting. It's quite nice and warm. There, I've got my eye on you. Yeah, so that I just meant to put that away in the Halloween box, and then I thought, oh, I could show that for Blast from the Past, and now all the Halloween boxes have well gone away, so I don't quite, they're very hard to get to. I have to crawl and shove them into the back of a cupboard under the stairs, so that might have to stay out somewhere now till next year. Can't be bothered to struggle to get that in the box. Oh, and then also, oh, I forgot about this. Helen gave me this as well. So we went via Dubai, and I found I've shown you in a previous podcast, I showed you, we got Christmas decorations with camels on because it was funny, made me laugh. And so she sent me this. She lives in an area with a lot of deer, so in Nara, so she sent me the Nara deer, and then she said this one, she doesn't know whether the painter forgot to paint its feet or if it's lying down in golden snow or what, but it's a legless deer, so it made me laugh as well. So that's going to go onto the tree next to the camels and deer. Why not? So I think that's actually everything for this week. Well, I don't know when the next time will be. I shall try to make another one in the next couple of weeks. I want to show you properly my lovely craft room. All reorganised. Every single box was emptied. Partly because, first of all, I just wanted to get the bones of what would fit in here, and some stuff didn't fit anymore, and some stuff from other places would. So first of all, I just put in empty boxes, and then worked on what was going to go in them. So every single item in this room was tipped out into the upstairs hallway, and not all of it is back yet. Some of the boxes are still empty. 99% of it is done, but now it's like, oh, what do we do with this bit? I don't want to have a junk drawer in here, but I think I'm going to end up with one, because there's just that last bit of things that don't really belong anywhere, but I need to keep. So I'm still working on that. I've chucked away loads of stuff. No yarn. I didn't get rid of any yarn, of course, but I don't know. It's amazing what came out. And like I said, I've tipped everything out of other people's drawers to pinch the plastic storage boxes that mostly we use in this house, that they're a standard size. So there's a closet length and a Japanese futon cupboard length. And so it's mostly my son who's at university. I raided his room for his boxes because he wasn't here to object. So before he comes back for Christmas, I've got to put all his stuff back. I want to try and rearrange the house without costing any money. And we definitely have too much stuff. We've lived in this house 15 years, and you know how things accumulated. We moved from a very small apartment into a really quite big house. And so for 15 years we've thought, oh, don't need to throw that away. Oh, we can keep this, we can keep this. And now I think it's time to start going through and shedding some belongings rather than buying new storage. So that's my plan. So I started with my room, and I'm going to continue through the house, which is not going to make me popular with my family. But I won't throw anything away without their permission. I'm not that bad. So I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll get another video up. I'll show you the craft room, and I'll show you what I've done for my Christmas fair, or not, as the case may be. Alright then, bye bye, see you again.